Do you have concerns about moving to Vancouver, Washington? Well, with moving anywhere, you should. But hopefully today I can share on some of the common questions I get asked when people are looking to move to my area. And I want to give you a better idea on a local's take of the pros and the cons of these frequently asked questions. Also, I want to set the record straight on what Vancouver is like versus what you may see in other places online or even in the news. I know that when my family back in Minnesota sees stuff online or in the news about Portland in the Vancouver area, they do get worried, but don't fret. I'm going to set the record straight, so let's just do this. Hi, my name is Cassandra Marks, also known as Realtor Cass, and I'm your local guide to everything Vancouver, Clark County, Southwest Washington, and even Portland. And if you want even more of the current 411 on the Vancouver area, let's jump on a Zoom. Links down below. Anyways, today I'm here to provide you with the insights on the most asked questions by people just like you when it comes to what you need to know about making this beautiful city of Vancouver your new home. So let's dive right in. The first question I get, and it is a big one, has there been an increase in crime with drug legalization? Well, some things you need to know. Washington State's decision to legalize things like recreational marijuana has been a topic of discussion. While it has had some impact, marijuana is legalized on the entire West Coast and in many states within the nation. But one little bit to actually be concerned about is just over the river in Oregon. They have decided to decriminalize a small amount of a whole slew of drugs. And, well, that has sent Oregon, and specifically Portland, into this downward spiral. Some pros is Vancouver's law enforcement is dedicated to maintaining public safety. And drug-related crimes, though they are present, are generally not as prevalent as in larger cities, so that's good. And some of the cons are some areas may still see visible drug-related issues and homelessness, but a lot of cities are like that. And that can affect the quality of life in certain neighborhoods. So make sure you research and choose your new community carefully. I recommend websites like Realtor.com and crimegrade.org when people ask me about crime and safety and flooding, all that kind of stuff here in Vancouver. The next question I get is the weather and seasonal affective disorder sad? Really real? So some things you need to know about the weather. Vancouver is, like much of the Pacific Northwest, known for its temperate climate, which includes mild, wet winters, and yeah, hate to break it to you, but sad is real. But it doesn't mean you're going to get it. So some pros to the weather is the temperature and the climate means you can enjoy a wide range of outdoor activities year-round. Things like hiking, biking, water sports are just a short drive away, and exercise is a huge part of keeping away the sad. Some cons to the weather, though, is you need to be prepared with a good raincoat and consider investing in plenty of extra vitamin D and even a happy light to help ward off the sad. So next is, how bad is the traffic and can you avoid rush hour? Well, what you need to know is that the traffic conditions, they can vary, but Vancouver generally has a much more manageable situation than nearby Portland. But if you're commuting over to Portland in the morning or back to Vancouver in the evening, make sure you buckle up, Buttercup, and find a good podcast or audiobook, because typically that drive from downtown Portland to, say, Salmon Creek, it might only be 15.2 miles, but man, it is over an hour easily. And with the bulk of that pain is right before like I-5 crosses over the Columbia River into Washington. So the bridge there is super duper narrow, even though it's 3 lanes. As a bunch of on-ramps that merge right before it, everyone's horrible at merging, and so that's why we have crappy traffic. Some pros to the traffic is Vancouver is relatively easy to commute around in and is known for its bike-friendly infrastructure and public transportation options. And you can commute by bike or bus, and it's really quite easy here. Some cons are, though, rush hour, especially I-5, and SR14 towards Camas can lead to congestion. And to avoid the worst of it, just adjust your working hours or use an alternative transportation method. All great things. Next up is the West Coast expensive? Yeah, well, it is. And some things you need to know is Vancouver offers a more affordable cost of living compared to some of the larger cities on the West Coast like Seattle, San Francisco, or LA. The cost of living here in Vancouver, Washington is 11% lower than the state average. but it is 4% higher than the national average. So some pros that you need to look at is Washington's lack of state income tax is a significant financial benefit for you, and it allows residents to keep more of their hard-earned money so we can have it to spend other places. But some cons is the housing prices have been on the rise, which may make it less affordable for some. The competitive real estate market can pose challenges for potential home buyers, so be prepared to shop strategically. The next question I get is, which is better, Vancouver, Portland, or Tacoma and Seattle? Well, what you need to know is if you are torn between Vancouver and Tacoma, it's important to weigh both the pros and the cons of each city to what you're looking for your next place to live. But for me, there are way too many people in Tacoma and Seattle, and I felt super claustrophobic every time even I visit. The traffic seems 10 times worse than it is down here. It's more expensive, and getting to the outdoor activities that I would want to do takes so much longer. So Vancouver, Portland was a much better choice for me. And some pros to this are Vancouver's proximity to Portland provides job opportunities in both Washington and Oregon. Plus, overall, it's a smaller size, which means less traffic and congestion compared to Seattle and Tacoma. Some cons, though, Tacoma and Seattle offers some very vibrant arts and a cultural scene, great music, sports, which Vancouver doesn't have as much of and to the same extent. So your choice between the two cities will ultimately depend on a bunch of your preferences, whether it's your job opportunities, your lifestyle, what kind of things you like. The next question I get is the real estate market in Vancouver as crazy as everywhere else? And some things you need to know is Vancouver's real estate market has been booming in recent years with both pros and cons for newcomers. As for the median home price, it is about the same as Portland at $550,000 here in Q4 of 2023. Where if you want to kind of compare, King County, Seattle, is at about $870,000. So some pros to this is the thriving market offers opportunities for home buyers like yourself and investors with great potential for solid returns on property investments. But some of the cons are increasing demand for housing has driven up the prices, making it more challenging for some to enter into our market. And competition for desirable properties definitely can be fierce. And I've noticed multiple offers here and there are still happening, but not everywhere. So you're okay. Moving to Vancouver, Washington isn't as scary as you may have seen in other places online. And hopefully I've answered some of the questions you may have had. But I still get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you every single day who are looking or thinking about making a move to Vancouver, Clark County, or Southwest Washington. And if you want more of that current 411 on this area, let's jump on a Zoom and chat all about it. Again, my name is Cassandra Marks, also known as Realtor Cass. And if you don't know, I am a farmer with a little real estate problem. Thank you so much for your time today, and until I see you again, bye.